Have you ever wondered why we love horror movies? Is it the thrill, the masterful use of suspense, or maybe, just maybe, it's because deep down we're all a little bit twisted. Whatever the reason, something keeps us coming back for more, and I promise you, it's not the stale popcorn. What's really fascinating is that our love for horror is rooted in a fundamental neurobiological response. You see, when you're watching a horror flick, your body's ancient fight or flight response gets triggered. It's a survival mechanism that we've had since the dawn of time. Your heart rate goes up, your blood pressure spikes, and your body gets flooded with adrenaline, preparing you to face a threat. But here's the magic trick. Your brain, that smart little genius, quickly realizes that the monster on screen isn't real. The result? A flood of endorphins and dopamine that gives you a feeling of relief and pleasure, turning a moment of fear into a rewarding thrill. But the ride doesn't end there. Watching horror is also a form of vicarious learning. It's like a mental training ground where you can safely practice your survival responses in a controlled environment. It's that feeling you get when you think, okay, I could totally survive that, which actually boosts your confidence and makes the movie more enjoyable. It's also why those sudden, loud jump scares hit so hard. They take away your control, leaving you with nothing but a heightened, involuntary fear response. Beyond the immediate thrill, there's a deeper psychological benefit: catharsis. Originally, this was a concept that Aristotle applied to Greek tragedies, and it describes a feeling of purification and release after experiencing powerful emotions. By watching these characters go through hell and back, we can safely process our own anxieties and fears without any real-world risk. It's a way to build emotional resilience, one terrifying scene at a time. This is also a shared experience. When you're watching with friends or in a packed theater, that simultaneous fear and laughter creates a sense of community and connection. It's a powerful bonding ritual that makes the experience less isolating and can make you feel stronger. But enough about the why. Let's talk about the how. Specifically, how one film, a film that wasn't even meant to be a franchise, changed the horror genre forever. In anticipation of the newest Conjuring film, we're going to deep dive into the movie that started it all. Let's get down to the brass tacks, the money. The Conjuring was a commercial sensation, and its success was a total game changer for Hollywood. Produced on a shoestring budget of $20 million, it raked in a mind-blowing $319.5 million worldwide. That's an estimated total profit of over $161 million, making it one of the most profitable horror films in history. Why does this matter? Because that staggering return on investment completely de-risked the genre for major studios. It was a powerful incentive for them to greenlight similar projects, and it's the direct reason we now have a world of shared universe horror films. The message was clear. A small investment in a horror property could lead to disproportionately high returns. But it wasn't just about the money. The film also earned rare critical and audience praise, landing an A-grade on CinemaScore, a historic achievement for the genre. This combination of financial success and critical validation created a powerful feedback loop. The positive reception legitimized the film, elevating it from typical jump scare fare to a serious piece of cinema. This brought in a broader audience and proved that artistic quality and profitability weren't mutually exclusive in modern horror. If the financial success was the engine, the true story claim was the jet fuel. The marketing campaign for The Conjuring was a masterclass in exploiting our curiosity about the paranormal. The tagline, "based on a true story," was everywhere, and it wasn't just a throwaway line. The campaign even featured the real-life Perron family and paranormal investigator Lorraine Warren in trailers and TV spots, which added a unique layer of authenticity. This approach was incredibly effective. The true story claim became the film's central hook, convincing audiences they were watching something more than just a fictional movie. The story was inspired by one of the Warrens' most famous investigations, and while the timeline was condensed and altered for a cinematic experience, the filmmakers maintained the core, sinister truths of the real events. This fostered a level of audience investment and trust that other horror films lacked, turning the truth from a set of constraints into a powerful creative springboard. The real-life haunting of the Perron family lasted a full 9 years, from 1971 to 1980. Over that time, the family claimed they were terrorized by multiple spirits, some benign but others malicious. Family members reported seeing full-body apparitions and hearing strange noises. The film's antagonist, the witch Bathsheba Sherman, was a creative choice to create a clear villain. but it was rooted in real-life legends surrounding her from the 19th century. The movie also dramatizes real paranormal events the family experienced, including beds levitating and an exorcism performed on Carolyn Perrin. The film was made with the blessing of both Lorraine Warren and the Perrin family. The on-screen portrayal of Ed and Lorraine Warren, brought to life with effortless chemistry by Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga, is the emotional core of the franchise. They're presented as empathetic, heroic, and unwavering protagonists whose Christian faith provides a moral compass. This narrative choice transformed them into universally appealing protagonists who ground the fantastical horrors in a relatable human story. The real-life Warrens were just as dedicated. Ed, a self-taught demonologist, and Lorraine, a clairvoyant and medium, transformed the public's perception of the paranormal. Hold on a second. What does clairvoyant even mean? Let me Google that for you. The Oxford Dictionary states that clairvoyant means a person who claims to have a supernatural ability to perceive events in the future or beyond normal sensory contact. The Warrens approached their investigations with a combination of fervent belief and methodical investigation. Their work inspired countless books, TV shows, and of course the entire Conjuring universe, cementing their legacy far beyond what their original investigations could have achieved. Now, let's talk about the real magic, the filmmaking. Director James Wan's style is rooted in resourcefulness, a lesson he learned from his early work in low-budget horror. He believes that small, seemingly insignificant details like a creaking door can create a powerful impact without the need for a high budget. This is why The Conjuring relies heavily on practical effects, atmospheric lighting, and sound design rather than expensive visual effects. But here's Wan's true genius. He intentionally undermines his audience. He knows that modern horror fans are genre literate and can predict traditional scare setups. So, he uses common tropes, like a monster in a closet, and then subverts your expectations to create a far more unsettling experience. This systematic deconstruction of your genre knowledge transforms passive viewing into an active, disorienting experience. Wan has said that a horror film must have a core seed of something that genuinely frightens him before he can translate that fear to the audience. He taps into primal human fears like the universal fear of the dark. He also uses a 1-2 punch technique. He delivers a scare and then immediately follows it with another, less expected fright. This method is designed to teach you not to trust your own learned genre knowledge, keeping you in a constant state of heightened vigilance. Wan transforms the Perron family's Rhode Island farmhouse from a simple setting into an active, breathing character. Early in the film, he uses a long tracking shot that guides the audience through the house, allowing you to become intimately familiar with its layout. This is crucial because when the paranormal chaos begins, you're not distracted by trying to figure out where characters are running. Instead, you're able to get lost in the fright fest and focus entirely on the terror. The film's signature atmosphere of suspense is also crafted through Wan's specific use of cinematography. He uses close-up shots and low-angle techniques in claustrophobic environments, like the basement or the closet. A key scene in which Lorraine Warren investigates the closet is a prime example of this. The close-up creates an intense, claustrophobic atmosphere that allows the audience to feel the character's anxiety. And we can't forget the soundscape. Wan uses a blend of eerie sounds, creaking doors, unsettling whispers, and sudden crashes to heighten fear. The sound design masterfully combines diegetic sounds, like the banging of a door, with non-diegetic elements, like the musical score, to create a destabilizing tension that taps directly into your primal instincts. Now, let's break down a few of the film's most iconic scares to see how all of these techniques come together. First up, the hide and clap scene. This is a masterwork of psychological terror because it starts with an innocent game established earlier in the film. This wholesome context makes the subsequent subversion all the more chilling. Trapped in the dark basement, Carolyn Perrin lights a match, and you, the conditioned horror fan, are anticipating a visual monster to appear in the sudden light. Wan subverts this expectation by delivering an auditory scare first. The camera focuses on Carolyn's ear as an innocent voice whispers, "Want to play hide and clap." This sound-based fright serves as the first punch of a 1-2 punch technique. During the brief, unnerving silence that follows, your eye is drawn to the corners of the screen, a habit common among genre-savvy audiences. The second punch is delivered when a pair of hands suddenly appears from the darkness to clap loudly right by Carolyn's ear. This scare is effective because it defies the anticipated visual threat and capitalizes on the audience's heightened state of vigilance. Next, let's talk about the armoire scare, a prime example of Wan's use of misdirection. The scene builds upon the established narrative that the sleepwalking child, Cindy, repeatedly knocks her head on the armoire. When Andrea opens the armoire door, you're prepared for a monster reveal, but she finds only hanging clothes, creating a brief but palpable sense of false security. The true fright is delivered when Andrea turns to see her sister's petrified gaze fixed on a spot above the wardrobe. Andrea looks up to see the demonic figure Bathsheba perched on top of the armoire, a location the camera never cued the audience to expect. The sudden, unnatural nature of the figure's attack, leaping at the characters on all fours, sends the heart rate soaring. Finally, Wan demonstrates his innovative approach by taking classic tropes and giving them a powerful, untraditional twist. Take the sheet ghost scene. He uses this simple, low-budget horror device in a seemingly mundane setting to create a shocking moment of terror. In a scene where Lorraine Warren is simply bringing in laundry, a sheet blows off the line and appears to momentarily catch the figure of an unseen person standing next to her. This turns an ordinary, everyday task into a source of immediate fear. Similarly, Wan uses other conventional horror devices, such as Nancy's hair rising or a cross falling, to create a false reprieve. While many films use these moments to subtly build suspense, Wan uses them to deliver the fright immediately. For example, the moment Nancy's hair clumps together, she is flung across the room by an invisible force. This immediate satisfaction of suspense is untraditional for the genre and is what makes these scenes so shocking and effective, as they offer no time to process what is happening before the terror begins. The climax of the film, where Ed Warren performs an unsanctioned exorcism on Carolyn, synthesizes all of the film's key themes: faith, family, and the ultimate struggle against a malevolent force. The battle for her soul is made all the more potent by the knowledge that the Warrens are not sanctioned to perform the rite, adding a layer of risk and desperation. Ultimately, the scene is a powerful visual expression of the fight to reclaim a person's identity and restore the family unit from an unnatural and corrosive evil. The film's enduring power is rooted in its psychological and thematic core, which taps into deep-seated cultural anxieties and manipulates the very definition of a true story. However, the film exists in a paradoxical gray area between fact and fiction. Andrea Perron, the eldest daughter, has stated that the movie is about 95% fiction and about 5% hard truth. She has also claimed that the Warrens were inexperienced and that many of the details were invented or embellished for a dramatic effect. Furthermore, the real-life Warrens were a controversial couple, accused by critics of being dangerous frauds who fabricated or exaggerated stories for fame and financial gain. If you'd like another video where we deep dive into the real-life cases of Ed and Lorraine Warren, please like and subscribe. The legacy of The Conjuring extends far beyond its box office performance. It established a blueprint for organic cinematic world building, proving that compelling, audience-driven horror franchises could be built around a single, iconic image or character. It also revitalized the genre by moving away from gratuitous gore and re-emphasizing the power of psychological dread, atmosphere, and a slow burn narrative. Ultimately, The Conjuring is a film that has permanently altered audience expectations and studio strategy for the modern horror film, solidifying its place not just as a profitable hit, but as a cultural and cinematic benchmark. In conclusion, The Conjuring is a masterwork of modern horror, not because of what it shows, but because of what it knows. James Wan's genius lies in his deep understanding of filmmaking and psychology, which he uses to systematically dismantle the audience's defenses and then rebuild them into a state of heightened terror. By taking a controversial true story and transforming it into a cohesive, thematically resonant narrative, Wan created a film that is both a loving throwback to classic horror and a blueprint for the future of the genre. The film's success is a testament to the power of controlled, psychological horror, proving that what we don't see can be far more frightening than what we do.